Some cameras I find absolutely brilliant. I really respond well to the camera. I can control it. It gives me good results. It gives me results I like. For example, the Nikon F4, which I was talking about recently. Other cameras, you just think there's a lot of hype, but they aren't very good. Like I would say the Diana is one of those cameras. And then there's some cameras which annoy you, but you quite like. And I think that is my opinion of this. This is a camera which I remember buying a new version of it when it came out in about this camera was produced I think from 1980. It's a Lubitel. Lubitel was a Russian camera based on the Fortlander from the 1930s, which was made from Bakelite, and it was a very basic Fortlander twin lens reflex. And the Russians started making these in the 50s and under the term Lubitel, and there was the Lubitel 2, and this is the Lubitel 166B, made from about 1980 till I think about 1990. And people liked these, number one, because of the film they took. They take 120 film, so you get medium format. So we are dealing with a medium format camera, so that gives us a really good large negative. So when we are enlarging, we don't get much grain. Again, viewers who have seen my channels before know that I'm not the biggest fan of 35mm. As soon as you start pushing 35mm up as a print size beyond 10:8, you begin to see noticeable grain. 120 film, you don't see that grain. Remember, traditional film is made up of silver and you get grain. So, the traditional medium format cameras are a lot of money. Things like the Rolleiflexes, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and even the cheaper ones like the Mamiya twin lens system are still several hundreds of pounds. This ranges from, even now you can pick them up sometimes. I picked this one up for £15. You might pay £30–40 or a little bit more. They are still very cheap. Now there is a reason they are cheap. They're made from plastic. The lens is not too bad. They can leak. I've had a number of these and I found that most of them have leaked. The Lubitel 2 I found didn't leak. Be interesting when I put a film through this. And when I picked this up today, I thought, when I put a film through, shall I tape the camera up or shall I use it untaped? I still haven't decided, because some people quite like the effect of slight fogging on a film. This, when I look through it, I'm not sure if you can see there. Yeah, you can see a little focusing spot there, and it even has a tiny magnifier there which pops up, but it's quite flimsy and it can fall off, and the focusing, as you can see, it is a very small spot. But the ingenious thing is, can you see how that lens is linked by a cog? So when we focus that spot, we are focusing the main lens. As I said, this is what we know as a twin lens reflex, or TLR. The shutter here we set manually. We have a variety of shutter speeds from bulb. Yeah, we do have bulb here, which the lens will stay open for as long as we like. We then have 15th of a second, 30th, 60th, 125 and 250. Let's set it to 125. To actually set the shutter, we have to bring this down here, that lever, and then the shutter is this tiny button here. There is a self timer, but I normally find these don't always work. And that is it. In use, how do you use them? Well, you have to focus, and you can't get closer than 1.4 meters, which I know some people find a bit annoying, but we'll focus from 1.4 meters to infinity. You have to decide on your shutter speed, and then I would use Sunny 16 rule or a light meter to determine the aperture. If it's very bright and sunny, that's f16, bit cloudy f8, bit dull 5.6 to 4.5. For medium format cameras normally have slightly slower lenses, so 4.5 might seem slow, but actually it's a moderately fast lens for a medium format camera. I have had numerous problems with these. I have known them just to fall apart, I have known the shutters to fail, I've even known the lenses to come off. But I've also known them to be very sharp cameras. It's a very easy way into medium format. It was one of the ways I got into medium format cameras. You've even got a hot shoe, so you can put a flash on, but you will need a lead to link it there. You load it from the back. Again, these catches can be a bit funny. There to there, and wind, and you see your number of your photo on the back there, 1 to 12. You will get 12 shots. That is all I have to say. Let's see how I got on when I actually used this Lubitel. It was a bright Sunday afternoon when I took this camera out, and this first shot is absolutely fine. It is quite sharp actually. I was pleased with how it behaved here. It's looking down the high street and it works fine. And similar in this shot, we've got quite a good sharpness. There is perhaps a little bit of softness on some of the edges. The exposure, I am using the Sunny 16 rule. Same here. I'm using Former Pan 100, and it's been developed in ID 11 at 1:1 for 10 minutes. Now, I'm actually very pleased with how the camera has performed here. It is sharp. I mentioned in the video that I have had problems with light leaks with this model before. There's no evidence of a light leak on this film that I could see. The camera didn't fall apart. It was the shutter worked when I wanted it to work. It round on when I wanted it to work. You can see here the sharpness, again perhaps a little bit of softness at the edges, but the main image is really sharp, and the same here. And you've got all the benefits of medium format. We have a low ratio of grain, we have a really nice quality of photograph. And this is a good thing about the Lubitel. When you get a good model, it can perform really well. Again, this is actually looking into the sun, so I wasn't expecting the image to again be as sharp and as clear, and the range of tones again is good. It's a very light camera to use. You do have to get used to seeing the image sort of the other side round when you are taking the image. When you're taking the image, it's reversed. So some people find that quite confusing when they first start in medium format. But again, I think this is an excellent camera for starting in medium format. I wouldn't pay the lume. You can buy them new, I think, for a frightful sum. I personally wouldn't do that, but if you can get one for £15 to £40, I think it can be worth a go. I definitely enjoyed it far more using it this afternoon than I was expecting. So that is the rather classic Lubitel 166B, but if you find a Lubitel 2 or even the original Lubitel, I will give it a go. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.